A chilling wind breezes through the army of the Stormcloaks as they gaze upon the gates of the city, realizing the walls are manned not just by elves, but the faces of their fellow Imperials, who do not seem to be aware of what is happening. The scariest image of this scene is not the army ready to fight, but this thick purple cloud that hovers over the city, seemingly hiding some sort of menacing device, almost as if it was alive and had a mind of its own. As the Stormcloaks prepare to advance, albeit with a bit of fear and discouragement, the main gate opens, and a lone rider comes out and meets the army.
Hello, intruders, and welcome to New Solitude.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I was planning to make this fanfiction with only 3 parts, but I wanted to split this part off with part 3 because I wanted to make the interaction with the Emperor to be spotlighted in its own video. So good news, we are getting a part 4. Honestly, I could plan to add more parts to it for the sake of this because I really enjoyed writing this story. It was a lot of fun to make, and if you want to see more continuation of it, let me know by leaving a like on this video and comment on any thoughts you may have about it. Also consider subscribing to the channel if you are hungry for more content such as this, and turn the notification bell on so you know when the new video is posted. If you also want to come out, hang out, and have a fun time chilling and playing games, I will be streaming on the YouTube channel as well from time to time. You can ask me about any video ideas or your general thoughts on the videos in the channel overall. Other than that, let's begin with the Battle of Solitude. The Thalmor rider slowly approaches the army, seemingly unfazed by the number of Stormcloaks and allies that have come to their walls. He then looks directly at Ulfric himself, donning a thick fur robe covering heavy bear armor and a crown over his head.
Ah, you must be Ulfric Stormcloak.
Yes, I have heard of your campaign to conquer Skyrim from us.
Do you not see above you? You are outmatched and outnumbered. What hope does your band of men have against an army of well-trained elven and imperial soldiers, and the magic of the cloud above our heads? I will make this simple for you. Leave, and do not return, and I may be able to convince my superiors to not go after you. Too late for that, elf. We have come to reclaim our lands. Go back to whichever land you and your kin came from. You do not belong here.
Very well, you have been warned. The rider then returns to the city, and the gate closed.
Sons and daughters of Skyrim, we have fought for too long and exhausted great effort to return the lands of Skyrim to its rightful owners. We will not let some fancy magic or a bunch of elves take over the lands that our forefathers have fought to maintain and keep. Now, brothers and sisters, to the city.
With the raise of his sword and the sounds of horns blowing through the air, the Stormcloak army charges forward, meeting with a barrage after barrage of arrows that, while some fall, the shields of the Stormcloak prove to be too sturdy for the arrows to have strong effect on the army.
Something is not right.
As they march closer, they notice blasts of energy emerging from the cloud as it gets thicker, blocking the view of the city from their eyes. Fireballs immediately emerge from the clouds, burning more of the Stormcloak soldiers charging. Humanoid demonic warriors arm their swords and staves and countercharge the Stormcloaks. While the warriors are far fewer in number, their graceful movement and strong strikes deal massive blows, killing a number of the invaders.
Daedra from Oblivion. They have opened the gate.
Just as I sidetracked, the reason why I have given the Thalmor the ability to open an Oblivion gate comes from the story of the forgotten hero in the Elder Scrolls legend. To recap, the main story of that game revolves around uncovering and foiling a plot by the Thalmor to take over the Imperial city. It turns out that their plan was to open an Oblivion gate in order to destroy the city from within. Of course, this plan was stopped by the forgotten hero, but I thought it was an element that I would revive for this story. Despite the initial shock of the Daedra attacking the Stormcloaks, they were quickly able to bounce back and defeat the Scamps and the Dremora, and press their advantage. With their ram battering through the gate and arrows volleying to the walls, taking down some of the defending archers, but not many, Ulfric takes the Dragonborn aside and instructs a major task.
Dragonborn, I need you to take down that Oblivion gate once we get inside. I will create a perimeter around it while you shut it down. You are the only one capable of doing such a feat.
With a nod and a hold on the shoulder, the gate is broken through and the Stormcloaks charge in. However, the scene is once again ominous. There are no soldiers on the streets of Solitude. And yet a massive Oblivion gate is placed on where Rogvir was executed when the player first entered the city. Suddenly, the doors from the establishment burst open and waves of soldiers and Thalmor charge out to meet the Stormcloaks, engaging in battle. However, half of the Stormcloaks aren't trying to kill their opponents. They realize that the citizens of Solitude have turned into thralls and the Stormcloaks try to subdue them instead of outright killing them, as they are still citizens of Skyrim. Without any further delay, the Dragonborn heads right for the Oblivion Gate and enters the Plane of Oblivion. This part of the game would play out similar to the process of shutting down a gate in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, so I don't need to go through the talk of the process again. For those who have played the 4th Elder Scrolls game, there are plenty of opportunities to do that. The Dragonborn still fights through waves of Dremora and scamps to make their way atop the highest tower and capture the Sigil Stone, which would effectively shut down the gate. When the gate is destroyed, the Dragonborn returns to the city, where the battle still rages, but with the destruction of the gate, the momentum has gone to the side of the Stormcloaks, and they push further into Solitude. After taking the main square and the Merchant Street, they push their advance towards into Castle Dower and the residential areas, where they are met with smaller resistance, for without the help of the Dremora from the gate, the Thalmor are outnumbered, and the influence over the citizens of Solitude are waning. Some of them are even regaining their senses. Despite gaining huge momentum, the Stormcloaks meet major resistance in front of the Blue Palace, where a line of mages meet them in battle. Now facing a plethora of magic attacks ranging from magic missiles to protective spells, and even necromancy, summoning legions of Atronachs, familiars, and even lesser Dremora against the charging Stormcloaks. While the mages hold up their own in the initial onslaught, felling many Stormcloaks and soldiers, their momentum and willpower prevent them from running away, as it is not in the pride of a Stormcloak to do so, and their stamina, endurance, and sheer force push back the mages and they fall in battle. Victory is in our grasp. With pretty much the entire city, except for the palace liberated, the Stormcloaks prepare for one last assault in the Blue Palace, which they notice is where the cloud is most dense. They do not know what awaits inside. If it is something worse than an Oblivion Gate, they may be in trouble. The doors to the palace are easily bashed through and the Stormcloaks charge in. Just like entering the gates to the city, the halls are eerily quiet. The soldiers this time face the doors, waiting for an attack from the rooms once again. But this time, a voice fills the air. "So, you have made it to my home. Come, Ulfric Stormcloak and the Dragonborn. Face me in the Queen's Hall. If anyone else attempts to join you, they will die." Without much of a choice, Ulfric and the Dragonborn make their way to the second floor, where a hooded figure sits on the throne of Solitude. It is not the High King's widow. It is finally nice to come face to face with the ones who have caused me the most trouble in these last few months. I had worked very hard to establish the status quo of Skyrim, even allowing your petty civil war to occur so you could have a taste of victory. But I hope you realize there is no victory against the Thalmor. Pity. Ulfric, you were once an asset to us, and I would continue to hope that we were able to maintain this mutually beneficial relationship between the two of us. But unfortunately, I have to end you here and now. The hooded figure then reveals herself to be Elenwen, the main Thalmor ambassador to Skyrim, and she prepares for battle against Ulfric and the Dragonborn. This battle wouldn't be too difficult considering it's 2-on-1, but the hazy cloud would provide her the ability to summon creatures to fight for her side. Essentially, the cloud is formed from an orb that augments the controller's magical abilities, plus allows them to summon creatures to fight for them. Even though Elenwen proves to be a formidable opponent, she ultimately loses to the duo of Ulfric and the Dragonborn, and is killed. There will be no escape from the Dominion. After the death of Elenwen and the presence of the Thalmor in Skyrim, the orb vanishes and the cloud is dispersed, and everyone who was under its influence were restored to their senses. Any Thalmor who survived the battle and did not flee are captured by the Stormcloaks and taken away. Ulfric, declaring victory, speaks with the Dragonborn. I thank you for your help. You have saved Skyrim from the rule of the Dominion, and its lands are free once again. While I may make a strong claim to become its High King, I still respect the moot, and when the time comes, I trust they will make the right decision. I believe you have other matters to attend to, so I release you from my service. You are free to do as you wish, Dragonborn. Good. We have more matters to attend to. I'm afraid this battle will soon be beyond the borders of the north. And that pretty much ends the Skyrim arc of this impending battle, and I think I will stop it here, since I mainly wanted to focus on what would happen in Skyrim after the Civil War. I'll be honest, I didn't think that we would reach an event like this when I first wrote this scenario, but I'm glad I turned it into a blown out story. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave it a like and share it with your friends who enjoy a little bit of storytelling and the Elder Scrolls universe. Also comment on what could happen after Ulfric won the Civil War in your imaginations. If you really want me to expand on this story, I would like to see this video reach 100 likes. A bit of an ambitious goal, but this will take a lot of planning and writing on my end. And of course, consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more content. I have other what if stories planned on the way, and check out my YouTube channel streams for one if you want to hang out. Other than that, this is Enzo signing out, and I will see you all in the next lore video.